I'm going to give it to you guys straight. I mean, this is the brutal truth, the harsh truth on why most guys are just completely done with dating, bro. I mean, it irritates the shit out of me. All right? And, it is what it is, right? I haven't had a girlfriend in almost 9 years now. And I've been very happy on my own building my life. And I know a lot of guys get really comfortable building their life. They get comfortable in their routine. And it's easy to do that, right? And there's so many guys that are just completely fed up with dating, from the dating apps, from getting flaked on. You go on a date or two, you get ghosted. Maybe she starts to pull back on you. And it's just, it's tough to navigate, right? It's really tough to navigate. And it's pretty dang hard to even try to find a decent woman, or at least a woman who, seems to have the green flags, right? On paper, she looks solid. But it's a tough market out here. It's very competitive, and so many guys are just done. And I can understand why, because number one, if you're, in your 20s or 30s, it's tough these days. Like, life is tough. It's very, very hard. It's tough to balance, your body, your money, leveling up in your career, your other relationships, your friendships, your family. It's really tough trying to balance all these areas. And there's still a part of you, maybe, that wants to have that person in your life, but it just almost doesn't even seem worth it anymore because of all the rejection, the flakes, the struggle. I mean, it's a competitive market, right? It's competitive out here. And to be honest with you, most women have literally no idea what they're even doing in life. I swear, bro. I would say most women out here, at least 80% of them. I mean, most women are the same. I mean, they really are. I'm not saying I don't like women. I'm not saying that I think that there's not any good women out here, but it's tough because there's always some baggage that they're dealing with. They're either slinging dick, or they're, they have their own trauma and baggage. And it's pretty rare to even find a woman who's at least doing the work, and it feels like if you're trying to date, it feels like it's like a full-time job with no ROI, You're having to text, set up dates, you're leading, obviously, you're having to plan things. And I think it's guys that should be pursuing in the beginning, initially pursuing, like, go get what you want, right? But it's all about kind of the balance, and there's sort of an art to it too. And that's kind of what I talk about on this channel. But I know that so many of you guys are exhausted, and I feel you. Men are tired of being valued for what they do, not who they are, right? And I know a lot of guys feel like kind of like a job interview process, right? We all know how that is. I mean, that's tough, right? The job market's tough, the dating market's tough. You kind of feel like you're just spinning your wheels, and they can't really truly see you for who you are, because maybe, on the dating apps and social media and whatever else, they kind of just, women have really high standards, okay? And if you're not checking a lot of those boxes, then it's going to be tough. And the truth is, the average guy today, is having a tough time out here. Even getting matches, like even just trying to continue things on with a girl that they're talking to even just be able to do that, to go on a date, connect, and to be able to consistently see a woman, for her to consistently show up, like that in itself, that's hard. That's rare to find. I'm still trying to navigate it myself right now. And, for so many years, I'm still focused on building my life and, finishing school, got in my career, started making more money, started side hustle, and, focusing on your fitness and everything. And you get to a point where you're like, okay, well, I've done that. I'm doing that work, but it's still tough to find someone. But like, I'm exhausted and even putting in the effort. I talked to a guy recently, and he had a really good career. He made good money. He got a house, and he's been burned a few times, just like I have. We all have. For guys, there's a handful of relationships. Whether it's 3, 4, 5, or somewhere around there, handful of relationships that really burned you, and then you get kind of cold. You get kind of bitter, and you go through the healing journey like I have, and when you finally start to open yourself up, like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be open to receiving. Like, this is something that I want in my life. I feel like I'm in a good spot. Not perfect, but it's never going to be the perfect time, right? There's definitely a more optimal time, but there comes a point where, maybe you're in your mid 30s and you're like, okay, well, I haven't found someone yet, but it's something that I would like to have. And then you maybe open yourself up, and then you meet someone, and then it starts going well, and then it kind of just, you're not really sure. And then maybe there's old insecurities that start to surface, unhealed wounds that you have, and your guard goes back up, and, But I think at the end of the day, if it's something that you want, if you want a relationship, you can't force it. It's kind of like that mix between putting yourself out there and having the awareness of female nature of most women, and just going with the flow. And I think it's your best bet to keep your options open. If you are dating, it's your best bet to keep your options open and not get hung up on one woman. I'm telling you right now, you cannot put all your eggs in one basket. I say this all the time. I've done it, and it's, it always backfires because guys really care more. That's the thing. The thing is, guys genuinely give a shit more than most women do. They really do, man. And so guys will put themselves out there. They'll put their hearts out there. They'll obsess, right, over this one girl, and then they end up, getting disappointed. So I would not have expectations. I mean, you've got to have standards for yourself and hard lines that shouldn't be crossed, but I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. So if you're out here trying to date, like, continue doing that. Continue building yourself, because you can do it all at once. You can build your business, you can build your body, you can have a social life, and you can do it all at once. And that's the thing that I'm trying to do now, because for so many years, maybe I wasn't really dating, or it was just more casual and I wasn't open to connecting on a potentially deeper level. I would say if it's something that you want in your life, if you're in a position like me, my advice would be to open yourself to the possibility of having a deeper connection with someone who has, on paper, who has the green flags, right? But they also show you through action. Is she coming correct? Is she in her feminine energy? Is she fun? Does she bring peace to your life? If she's playing games and all these manipulation tactics and, trying to juggle a bunch of different dudes, you'll be able to tell. I can tell you right now. And if she's not making you a priority, then you don't want to have anything to do with it, right? So at the end of the day, it's tough, right? It's really tough trying to strike that balance because it is so competitive. But the best thing you can do is just focus on your mission, focus on your path, focus on your life. Focus on your life. Do not get fixated on any one woman, and keep your options open. I don't say that because that's necessarily what you want to do. I'm not saying you should be, just sleeping around, but keeping your options open and not getting emotionally hooked on one girl, because it's going to just probably leave you disappointed if it doesn't work out, right? So your best bet is to just keep focusing on your life, man. I mean, I can tell you guys right now, if I didn't have my job, if I wasn't leveling up on my career, if I wasn't driven, ambitious, didn't have goals, clients that I took care of, if I didn't have the YouTube project, I mean, dude, I would be miserable. I would be depressed. And so that's why I think it's so important that you guys find out what your mission is, because that's always going to be what you go back to. Like, that's always the foundation, no matter what, right? Whether this girl works out, whether it doesn't matter either way. Yeah, maybe it sucks if it doesn't work out because you really liked her, but at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is you, okay? And honestly, women aren't really going to bring that much value to your life in general, unless you've started to really get to know her. She's shown up for you consistently. Now, the right woman can definitely bring a lot of value to your life, but that's something that takes time. It takes months and months and months of her showing up consistently, that she's willing to be there. and wanting to do things for you, right? But otherwise, I mean, dude, these women out here, most of them, they have no idea what they're doing. They literally have no idea what they're doing out here. They don't know where they're going. They have no idea what they're doing. They're kind of just floating through life, expecting guys to chase them, pursue them, and you know, they are. Most guys are. And that the brutal truth, guys, is I always talk about how you should always lead, but you should never chase. So what that looks like, the difference between what that looks like is leading is setting up dates, initiating. Yes, that means in the first few months, at least, that you guys are dating, at least that you are pursuing her. Okay? Like, you are taking initiative. You're setting aside time to plan the dates, where you're going to go, what time, like what you're going to do, when you want to see her. Okay? And that, you know, and that's your responsibility, because other guys are doing it. So if there's a girl that you want, go get her. Like, go get it, because another guy's going to do it. Like, another guy's going to get it. And that's the thing. Like, for so long, what I had wrong is I would just wait and let girls come chase after me. Well, guess what happens? Like, it doesn't really happen. Okay? Even if you're a decent looking guy and you know, have a pretty good life for yourself, it still doesn't really happen. I mean, there's still going to be some women who are going to throw themselves at you, but those typically aren't the ones that you want, because a woman who's in her feminine energy is going to expect you to lead, and then she should reciprocate, okay? She should be reciprocating, responsive, be excited, want to support you emotionally, okay? That's what you should be looking for. But I know, man, like, I know a lot of you guys are done with dating for forever, and it feels kind of hopeless, right? I mean, with the algorithm, the dating apps, at the end of the day, I mean, the only one I would even hardly use would be maybe a little bit of Bumble, maybe Hinge, but I just can't even spend that much time on it, because it's a business, right? It's a business model. And I think that unless you're paying for it, you're not really going to get the optimal benefits that you would want, because that's how it's set up. It's the algorithm. It's rigged, right? It's a business. It's a business model. So I say all that to say, you know, I tell guys to use them sparingly. Don't even touch Tinder. I wouldn't even touch Bumble. I would just focus on Hinge. And again, it's going to be a numbers game, because we're talking about, you know, women who are, you know, if she's a nice looking woman, she's getting probably at least 100 likes a week. And all they got to do is just go through those matches. They're just going. I'm telling you guys, an attractive woman has life on easy mode. She's just floating through life, bro. Very few of them are actually going to bring value to your life. Okay. And, you know, use the app. Use Hinge if you want, okay? I encourage you guys to use it, because I use it, because, I mean, you know, it just helps you cast a wider net, okay? Casting a wider net, because it is tough to meet people these days. I mean, there's only so many places you can go to meet people, and, I mean, I really don't think I'm going to find a higher quality woman at a party, or, you know, at a club, or in the party environment, right? So, I mean, I get it. I know it's, you know, if you're not dating, if you're done with dating, a lot of guys are saying they're doing that because it gives them peace. They already have peace in their life, and they don't want to disturb the peace. And I get that, right? I totally get that. And that's fine. There's definitely men going their own way. But, you know, one thing I want you to consider is, you know, if you are around my age, I mean, I'm at that age where I'm 34 now, and I would like to have a partner one day. I would like to, you know, have a wife someday, have kids one day. I personally don't want to have kids until I'm probably late 30s, at least, maybe 40, right? I want to at least like a 4 or 5 years from now, at least, to get really stabilized more so in my career and my side projects. And so I know that now I need to get that process started. So that means I got to put in work in it. Even if it's hard, even if it's tough, even if there's rejection, there's always rejection. It's a numbers game. And that's why you should keep your options open. Don't emotionally invest into a woman, especially not early on. I'm not saying be completely detached and emotionally cold, but, you know, she needs to show up for you consistently, okay? And what I mean by that is, if, you know, for example, you guys have a date set up and she cancels like the day of, earlier in the day, and if she proposes a reschedule, like, you know, instantly, or, you know, within a few minutes or whatever, or hours, that's a good sign. That's a good sign, okay? But if she's not, and you find yourself, she's flaking and keeps canceling, after 2 or 3 dates, and then you're just going to have to take a step back and realize that you're just not a priority. Okay. That's the brutal truth. All right. So all you can do is all you can do. But I guess what I'm saying is, if you're happy with your life now, you're happy with your single life, and you don't actually want someone, then keep living your life, man. Keep doing you. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. But I know that a lot of guys cope and say, yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm happy being single. I don't want to date. I'm done with it because it's not worth the effort. Well, here's the thing. One of the core human desires is to have love, have a partner. Okay. Someone who supports you. And having that feminine energy in your life, having that, partner who wants to support you on your hero's journey, on your adventure. Everybody really needs that love. And Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's having that partner, having that love. And so no matter what you say, if you're comfortable being single, you're done, you're tired of it, you don't want to put in the work, deep down inside, I know that you probably do want it. You're just not willing to face the truth that you have a long way to go in your personal growth, because everybody has high standards these days. I have high standards for a partner that I'd want to be with. Girls have high standards. A lot of them are pretty delusional, but you've got to be getting after it, and you can't really worry about it. So I was talking to my buddy Joel the other day, and he said, you basically just have to not care. And that's what I tell you guys too. I mean, I've even found myself kind of slipping at times, but when I say not care, it's not being open, it's not that you're not willing to be open and be vulnerable for the right woman who shows up for you, but it's basically being outcome independent, right? It's that you have other stuff going on in your life. You have a vision so powerful for where you want to go. Okay. Where you want to be in a year, 3 years, 5 years, down the road, that is going to be your top priority no matter what. And you have to just always give that love to yourself. I know we all want love. We want a person, but we have to always give that love to ourselves first. That's taking care of your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, your financial health, all these things, right? Taking care of you. And understand that it's competitive out here, as we know. But if you want to have someone in your life, the time is now. You can do it all at once. Put yourself out there. Go to classes. Go to meetups, doing things you like. You utilize Hinge sparingly. I don't want you to get sucked into it because it'll zap your dopamine in your time. But you've got to cast a wide net. And I realize that it's hard out here. It's tough. I don't want to do it. Dating sucks in 2025. I said it. I've said it before. It sucks, dude. It really does. I hate doing it. But it's just a reality. Like, what else are you going to do? What is your other option? Well, I'll just throw in the towel. Okay, fine. But is that really what you want? Is that really what you want on a deeper level? Because a lot of guys say that that's really what they want and they're fine with it. But it's just sort of a cover-up, right? Because it's too much work. Well, that's life, dude. It's hard. Get over it. That's just how it is. It's hard for everyone. But the more value you build into yourself, the more options it's going to unlock, the more confidence you're going to have. It's going to put you more in abundance mindset. That's why the number one focus right now, if you're single, is to pour into yourself and just maximize the time that you have right now. Okay. And if a cool girl comes along, cool. That's great. Let's not really put too much energy into it. Let's not put too much really emotional investment into it. Okay. I say stay away from the emotional investment because guys tend to get attached quickly, much quicker, I feel like, than women do. That you're not going to hear that too often, but I think it's true though. Most guys genuinely give a shit more because, like I said, a lot of women are just out here floating through life, kind of just going with the flow. But just pour into yourself. We don't ever want to beg for love. We don't ever want to beg for anyone. Become a man that you respect. That's what it's all about. And that's showing up for yourself. That's being willing to recognize your deeper needs. Like, yes, I would like to have a partner one day. I'm not going to push. I'm not going to be needy. But it is going to be a priority for me. And I will attract that into my life by putting in the work and casting a wide net with trying to meet women. Going on 1 or 2 dates a week if you can. Again, date different women. Don't put your eggs into one basket, because it's just not going to be the best. Not going to be the best outcome for you. I'm not saying I'm against being exclusive, but this should be taking several months. And in order for you to focus on one woman, she should show you through actions and consistency that she's willing to support you and be there for you. And, you know, as long as you guys are meeting each other in the middle, that's what it's all about, right? But the last thing I'm just going to add here is don't give up, level up, okay? Because I know most of you, like I said, back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, most of us want that love and connection from having a person in our life, right? We want to have our person. No matter what you guys say, okay? I don't give a shit what you guys say. Most of you guys actually want to have that person, but you're just tired. You're exhausted. And you're like, man, there's so much work to do in general. I'm just tired. Well, fucking get over it, bro. I mean, or you just be lonely the rest of your life, but you still have the rest of your life. And imagine if you just said, you know what? I'm just completely done forever. I'm done with dating. And yeah, you know, you go through life and you get the stuff, the materialistic stuff, and you don't have anybody to share it with. And then you don't have a wife one day. You don't have kids. I mean, I'm not saying you should rush into anything. And I'm definitely not saying that you should tie anything down until you know that it's the right situation, right? Okay. But don't give up. Just level up. And again, be willing to receive what comes into your path with an open heart when it comes, okay? But regulate this. You meet someone, you connect, you like them, right? Don't give too much too soon until you see that they're willing to meet you there in the middle, okay? So that's all I got for you guys today, man. I want to know in the comments, so let me know what you guys have been going through out here, how your dating experience has been. And yeah, just let me know. Like, let me know what you're feeling. We're pretty vulnerable here. We share our stories, and we just hit, 2K subs recently, and I'm really grateful for you guys and all your support. Let me know in the comments too if there's any other topics that you feel like would be really helpful. But I know there's a lot of single guys out here struggling, a lot of guys that are just tired, they're exhausted. But here's the brutal truth, man. That's just life. It's tough out here. But what's your other option, right? You have time. You do have time. Okay. You have time to find someone. And I've always found that it's kind of finding the balance between putting in the work, okay, and putting yourself out there, casting a wide net, right? Focusing on all these areas of your life, but also too, just not forcing it either. Because some things in life, especially like this, if you try to force, what usually happens? It's just like all this time and energy spent in it, and then a situation doesn't work out. Multiple situations don't work out. Rejection, and it just doesn't work, man. So you gotta put in the action necessary to level up, put yourself out there, but also there's only so much that you can control at the end of the day, right? Because we all want to have that person, but we can't really force it either, right? That's more God. So also encourage you guys to pray about it. I've been praying about this for over a year and about a year and a half or so. So continue to pray about it. Ask for what you want. Okay? So that's all I got for you guys today, man. If you're not subscribed, I don't know why not. I'm dropping videos every single day. We're growing here. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.